Hey John, how's it going?
Good. I'm actually really looking forward to today's conversation. How about you?
Yeah, same here. And hi to your viewers. As you know, today we're going to be talking about a hot topic to many people, retail and e-commerce. So, as you know, with the stores shutting down due to COVID, we've been seeing a massive digital transformation happening all across the world. North America specifically, stores are opening now, but in the past weeks, more and more businesses have been building their online presence, whether that means an online shop going on platforms like Amazon, eBay, Walmart. We're seeing massive changes, and we'll be talking a little bit about that today, and how to stay competitive and how to get ahead of that trend.
Yeah, and it's important to note that businesses and retail have been going digital for a while, and that COVID-19 is not necessarily responsible for them going digital, but it is an accelerator. More and more companies are facing a sense of urgency to get online quicker.
Right.
And I think we've got the right guests today. It's going to be a fun conversation with the guys from Tavano team and our very own Mike Meehan.
Yeah, absolutely. And to give you guys a little bit of insight about what they do at Tavano team, if you guys are familiar with Shopify, Suite Commerce, you guys want to build your online presence or work on your platform, these are the guys you talk to. So we're going to get a lot of great insight from them.
And of course, Michael Meehan, our very own business development executive, who is, directly in touch with people who are looking to go online, who have these, the concerns and the sense of urgency that we are going to be talking about throughout the episode. So he's going to be great to give us insight as to what is at the top of mind of the end user and people who need to serve them.
Welcome to Guru's Cloud Connect, your one-stop tech talk where we discover the best business tools with the experts behind them. Filmed on set in a live setting with our gurus in Montreal. Guru Solutions is North America's largest Oracle NetSuite ERP services provider. Visit their website at gurusolutions.com with your hosts Ethan Bozoglu and John Serino.
So guys, why don't you tell us a little bit about how Tavano team can help customers get online?
Where our team really excels is where we can really help our customers is not only on the implementation of the website. We talked a lot about that, how to implement a website, how to implement an e-commerce channel, but also on the channel strategy, and that's the mix that we found that adds a lot of value to the customers at the end of the day, because it's not about, as Diego was saying earlier, having a website, but what happens after that, right? So for those that would like to explore having a channel, an e-commerce channel up and running as fast as possible, then contact us, and we're talking about not only about implementing a site, but we can help them grow that channel.
It's really not just about having a website, right? I mean, it's about having a strategy. It's about having a growth strategy,
right.
And I think that's everything today.
How difficult, or what's it like to build a retail business or a retail brand, specifically as brick and mortar today, without a digital component?
Nowadays, you can go online in 2 weeks' time or even less, with a quick theme, a quick, system that starts, have a full catalog, you have the order management in place, and you can be online really quick.
What I think the sort of economic shutdown has allowed people is the time to really think about that. How can I go digital? What is that upfront investment? What will that process look for me? Working with a lot of businesses that are facing that same situation right now, what does that process look like?
It's the fact of building their brand digitally, right? And to start moving their whole processes and business processes on a digital way. And that was one of the main blockers for many companies to make that step. And basically, researchers say that basically it was because many companies tried to do the digitizing before, but they failed on the attempt because they tried to do it all at the same time, right?
Let's say you want to get a drill. When you go into a retail store, even though you know one or two brands, you'll still look around, you'll look at the pricing, you look at the features, you'll see if they're different, you'll be able to compare them in a physical manner, and you don't get that in the same way online. So how does it how do you compensate for that when you're doing online research?
The process is different of how you purchase and how you research, right? Maybe you go to Amazon, for example, to do some research first to see users' testimonials and ratings or reviews about their product. But maybe you search, yeah, I don't know, maybe you go to Quora. There are many different ways, you know, to do research online. And also, when you go to Home Depot, you know that you go to Home Depot and you go out of the store with your drill. Online is different, right? Online, maybe you visit different stores, so it's very crafty. You know, you need to be very good at, when you have someone in your store, you need to complete that purchase.
Shoppers were used to buying from established brands, right? Even if, you know, and even brands that were online that that they had some history with. Now this pandemic, this context, you know, the limitations in stock supplies and all that is really shifting that into where the shopper really buys wherever they find the products faster and in more reliable way. And so that's a good opportunity. Going back to the example of the department store that Ethan was talking about.
And it really comes down to, again, like you said, the customer experience. And so I think it's a two-edged sword in that it is very difficult in today's day and age to open just a brick and mortar store. And I think you're dissatisfying yourself or leaving opportunity on the table if you go just an e-commerce route. But it really comes down to what can you do to be creative and engage your customers, understand what they need, and increase the quality of their experience. And it's things like brand loyalty and relationships that are not going to the wayside, but they're changing the way that you have to be creative and go after them. And I think if you deliver that and stay ahead of that curve, you know, you're geared for success. Whereas if you're not on top of those things now, this entire industry is going to pass you by.
A good experience is something that solves your problem fast.
How do you help your customers compete with marketplace solutions? How do you help? How do we help people, guide people into what are the do's and don'ts and what you need and how we can be present in this world of online retail?
Great user experience, you know, work on the speed, on the performance of the website, have a good intuitive and easy navigation and a fast checkout.
Many merchants do not know who are they selling to, what's the target audience, right? And sometimes you say, okay, no, woman from, I don't know, 18 to 45-year-old. That's not your target audience, right? You should aim for more as specific as you can be, right? And as you start digging into those specifics, you're going to be more relevant, and you're going to be able to find where those people are congregating online.
As a seller, you know, even if you're selling in a brick and mortar shop, most users, most buyers will go online and check out the products and compare and contrast, so that by the time they come to the store and they pick up your product, 50 to 60% of the decision is already made. So you've already lost half the battle online before your buyer gets into the store.
It's hitting emotions, I think, right? And good marketers hit emotions, and emotions are relevant in the time of your life that you're in, on the type of problem that you want to solve, and even on the hour of the day that you're in, right? So you cannot touch on emotions if you do not do your research.
In terms of so many folks reaching out to me as a sales guy and saying, hey, I've been B2B and we've been thinking B2C, but because of this world that we're in right now, we have to go B2C. We're not going to be open if we don't go B2C. What are some of the things that are available for them now in terms of whether it's Shopify or SweetCommerce, or just the tools that exist, or in terms of analyzing who they are and figuring it out? You know, what's a plan for them to say, how do I analyze my customers? What types of tools are out there for me to get started, and where does all that begin? How do we help these people out?
First of all, depending on your ERP, understanding your options for a front end, for an e-commerce, you know, software tool platform. And then you have, you know, if it's NetSuite, you have SweetCommerce. You can also have Shopify and add a connector to it. You know, again, those two options, they are really fast to implement. You can be online in 2 weeks. Essentially, you can even go faster online than the time that it takes you probably to figure out, you know, your entire catalog that you want to publish on the website, right?
It's not just thinking about their customers, but it's, you know, it's critical, but they need to think about what's going to happen next. right? What are the processes that you want to portray in your front end, right? So it's very important, like Diego was saying, to understand the software that's managing, not just the standalone e-commerce software, but for example, the ERP that's managing all those orders in the backend.
But the change management, your company, your team has to be made aware of this at the very beginning, that getting from not having an online presence to being successful online will come with some growing pains, but that is certainly overcome when we've got a positive change management structure in place.
We've seen it many times, right? When customers have with this long list of requirements and they want all of it, right? For the very beginning, this waterfall process, they go online only to find out that what they thought their clients wanted is not what their clients wanted.
That being said, if I had to, if someone asked me what should I do to get ready, I would, to Diego's point earlier, just go with a consultant who can help you, because if you need to get there fast, you have years, you're going to be competing with people who have been there for years already. So you want someone to help you who has the same amount of experience to get you there.
That's it. Yeah. Don't reinvent the wheel, but take the time to hire professionals that know what they're doing and can help you assess what makes sense for you in your world. And, you know, again, what I see more often than not with consultants that fail is not, you know, having the right plan or the right action to strategically break things down into bite-sized pieces and do what only makes sense right now, but not put yourself in a hole that you can't get out of later without having to spend significant time and money. So knowing where you're at right now, knowing versus where you want to go, and then using the tools that are around you and just focusing on what needs to be customized out of those out-of-the-box tools and not having to reinvent the wheel from a blank canvas. I think it's a tremendous, you know, push to speed and time and, you know, and money.
We help them identify the must-haves versus the wish-to-haves, right? And really build a minimal viable product. Sometimes they already come with that in mind, but make them understand that okay, you must have this, and all the wish-to-haves, let allow your customers to validate how much you need those, right? And it's been proven because you can actually phase the development of the site based on the immediate needs, right?
You know, for who is the right persona for Tavano team?
It's someone that are using NetSuite as their ERP, and they want, maybe they have an e-commerce presence and they want to, you know, maybe have a clunky one or not a mobile optimized e-commerce presence, that they want to have something that really impulses sales, right? And start focusing on increasing sales. And, or maybe that they do not have any online presence and they were just using us, you know, NetSuite as an ERP, but now they just found out that they need to go online as soon as possible, whether B2B or B2C.
One of the points of reaching out to Tavano team, if you're a retailer, if you're in B2B right now and you already have, you know, sort of an online shop set up, the hardest part of going from B2B's B2C is that, you know, it's a whole different beast, and you really want to develop the right personality fast to be competitive from the get-go. And, you know, oftentimes companies don't have the right data, they don't have the right systems, they don't have the right experience if they're B2B to have the right personality to appeal to a B2C world. And that's where, you know, finding the right consultant and getting you there fast can be the differentiator between, am I at a loss right now, or am I still making profit despite everything that's happening in the world?
But at the end of the day, they're selling to human beings, right? So like Dio was saying before, the site performance needs to be fast as well.
You know, B2C websites set the standard for what a user experience is supposed to be. And for that reason, they are indirect competitors to B2B websites. Because if your user experience is anything less than what you get on your favorite websites, which is B2C really, then, you know, we're going to see a high bounce rate. We're not going to see any retention.
But the reality is, I am equally excited and equally impressed by, you know, the ability to online to be able to quickly research things and the history of things and the customer service and, you know, to price compare. And I think the one thing I would say that my e-commerce life definitely outnumbers my, you know, traditional retail life. The one thing that I miss, though, is that instant purchase gratification. You know, it doesn't matter what it is. I buy it and I have to wait. And there's things like Amazon Prime that make it a little bit easier. It costs me more money, but I can have things the next day or even the same day or within a couple of days. But that's the biggest challenge, I think, in my own personal life, overcoming and moving to that e-commerce world as a buyer is not satisfying that instant gratification.
It's been growing fast. The term BOPIS, buy online, pick up in store, right?
Correct.
So in that way, you keep that amazing experience, but you pick it up, right? Of course, it's not for all of the products, but that's a trend.
That's a buying behavior we have to come to expect. Yeah.
I want to thank you all for joining us today. This has been a lot of fun. I think it's going to make a great episode for our podcast series.
Thank you guys again for the opportunity. We really enjoy the conversation.
We're going to add links at the bottom of our video so that for anyone wanting to reach out to Gurus or to Vano Team, we'll have links at the bottom of the video. And at the same time, we'll add links to resources for more information. And you can always reach out.